And we now proceed to Congresswoman Nikki Tsongas of Massachusetts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all for being here today. We're here because we're all too aware that sequestration is now only 2 days away from being implemented. And we all have our particular concerns about its harmful effects. But in this context, I'm particularly worried about the impact that it would have on our civilian and uniformed acquisitions workforce. In an Armed Services Oversight and Investigations Subcommittee hearing yesterday, one of our witnesses spoke about what Fareed Zakaria has called, quote, the democratization of violence, unquote. This is the idea that increasingly sophisticated weaponry is becoming more and more readily available to emerging global competitors, third world countries, and even non-state actors. So, for example, Hezbollah is now using UAVs and increasingly sophisticated long-range missiles, and as a result poses a very significant regional threat. In this kind of threat environment, it seems to me that it is essential for our nation to continue its robust investment in R&D and efficient acquisitions management of cutting-edge defense technology in order to retain our leadership on the world stage, even as we cut end strength and draw down from Afghanistan. And I'd like to direct this question to you, General Jones. I know that this is an issue that has been of importance to you, given your previous command of the 66th Air Base Wing at Hanscom Air Base. This is a base that is located next to my district in Massachusetts. And Hanscom, as you know, manages the Air Force's Vital Electronic Systems Acquisition, also known as C4ISR, as part of the Air Force Material Command's Life Cycle Management Center. As we continue to move away from a generation of dumb bombs and towards drones and cyber capabilities, these acquisitions functions will become more important than ever. And General Jones, you note in your testimony that sequestration will, quote, hobble, unquote, the Air Force's modernization efforts, a major priority which the Air Force has cut end strength to fund. Could you elaborate on how it could hamper efficient acquisitions management, particularly of electronic and cyber systems, which are so extraordinarily complex and quickly evolving technologies?
Yes, ma'am, I'll be happy to. First off, let me tell you that being stationed at Hanscom was really one of the best assignments my wife and I ever had. The area, being Southerners, we weren't sure what we were going to expect when we got up north. That was a very cold place for us, but it really was truly one of our great assignments and some wonderful people. But if you walk around Hanscom Air Force Base, as all of our acquisition bases and our depots, you see a lot of civilians and you don't see as many people in uniform. 74% of all of our acquisition professionals are civilians. If we go to furlough and we furlough them for 2 days per pay period, or basically 20% of their productivity for the rest of the year, that is going to have a huge impact on our ability to acquire and complete the acquisition programs and delay the delivery of different programs because they just won't be there to do the job. It's a 20% cut in productivity. If you look at the depots, we have 24,000 civilians working in our depots. The number of days they'll take off through furloughs will be significant for us, and it will have an impact. And that impact in the depot processes will take years to overcome because it is a very much, the aircraft are coming in at max capacity. We're working as best we can, getting them out quickly. So any delay in that process is going to send a bow wave and a ripple effect that we'll live with for a long time. We understand the importance of acquisition professionals in the Air Force, whether they're in uniform or civilians. We closely monitor them. We have, obviously through DIWEA, we watch their promotion opportunities, their career progression, and we know how important they are to what we do in the Air Force, whether it's in cyber, whether it's in aircraft, and it's something we can't do without. It is going to take years if we go to the full effects of sequestration and furloughing the civilians to overcome what we'll have.
Would you be impacted on a freeze by hiring as well?
And we're already impacted on hiring freeze. We started hiring freezes on 16 January, and there were 5,000 vacancies in the Air Force a few months ago. That didn't count critical temps and term employees. That's another 3,200 employees that are not at their job. And so every day we continue in the hiring freeze with the waiver authority held at the vice commander, the 3-star level of the command. So it's being used very sparingly. It is having an impact on what we do every day.
Thank you. I yield back the balance of my time.